Hello everyone, welcome to another webinar with Streak. In today's session, we are going to be talking about trading with trends. So trends are quite an important subject when it comes to technical analysis or when it comes to stock market. There are a lot of people speaking about it and a lot of strategies based on trends. A lot of people trade based on trends. Therefore, to elaborate a little bit more on this topic, we bring to you today's educational webinar. So let's move ahead and look at some of the topics that we will be covering today. What is a trend? We will be learning what the definition of a trend is. I'll be telling you all why we should even bother studying about trends. There are some differences between uptrends and downtrends that will be addressed and spoken about. I'll be sharing with you all certain methods using which you all can spot these trends. We'll be learning how to scan for trending stocks using Streak platform, how we can scan for these opportunities that we will be having a look at, followed by which we will be creating certain strategies that will help us capture the large price moves that are actually made by trending stocks. And lastly, we will be concluding the webinar. Before moving on, I'd like to make an announcement that on popular demand by our users, Streak has recently launched Create Plus. Using Create Plus, users can develop and deploy strategies involving complex chart patterns, divergences, and other indicator-based operations. You can now also convert all your existing scanners to a strategy at the click of just one single button. For the first time, you can now backtest and verify the success rate of your scanners. Today, we will be showing you a small demonstration of the same, but a detailed video on the topic will be available in our upcoming webinars. With the launch of Create Plus, backtesting is now possible at lightning speeds. At the blink of an eye, you will have your backtest results right in front of you. So what is a trend? A unidirectional general move in a stock price establishes a trend. If the price is sustainably moving in either the upward or the downward direction for a considerable amount of time, then we can say that a trend has been established. If the price is moving upwards, then naturally it is said to be a bullish trend or an uptrend. And if it is consistently moving downwards, then it is known as a bearish trend or a downtrend. If the supply and demand forces in the market are biased towards one side, that is something that gives rise to trends. Now, if there are more buyers than sellers in the market, then it is natural that the price will move upwards because the buyers enter the market aggressively at this point. They are willing to buy at a higher price, which drives the price upwards. Let's recall Newton's first law of motion. Every body continues to be in its state of rest or uniform motion unless acted on by an imbalanced force to make a change. In this example, we can see that the stock price was constantly rallying upwards due to the existence of a certain bullish force in the market. Eventually, this bullish force died down due to the entrance of certain selling pressure in the market, which eventually took over the buying pressure and eventually drove the price downwards. Why study trends? So it is said that the trend is your friend. I'm sure a lot of y'all have heard this saying, but let's look at the reasoning behind this, right? The odds of winning a trade increase when one is trading in the direction of the trend. So technical analysis is about increasing the probability of success of the trade. It involves gathering a maximum number of confluence factors to back a trade. So if you trade in the direction of a trend, then it naturally increases the probability of success of your trade, right? Trading along with the trend also allows one to capture large price moves. When a market is ranging, the price movement is limited due to a strong support and resistance. But in a trending market, sometimes the price can, know no bounds and it can be rallying for a long amount of time and in which it can cover a lot of ground. It can cover a lot of rupee value, right? So they allow us to capture these large price moves. It is easy to carry out trend analysis. It is not at all a difficult process to identify trends. You simply need to know a few key points, which I'll be discussing in a few moments with you all. Trend analysis can be done on many time frames, and this allows us to trade within a larger trend. So, trend analysis can be done on multiple time frames, and this specifically allows us to trade keeping in mind the bigger picture. For example, if a stock is in an uptrend on an hourly time frame, then there would be a higher chance of success for a bullish trade or a buy trade on the lower time frame, say 30-minute or 15-minute. If the larger trend is upwards and you are taking a trade on the lower time frame in the direction of that trend, then it increases the chances of your success because you are trading keeping in mind the bigger picture. Uptrend versus downtrend, there are some differences between uptrend and downtrend that are mentioned on this slide. So let's get right into it. So on the left, we have the demonstration of a downtrend, whereas on the right, we have a diagram of the uptrend. So a downtrend is basically characterized by the formation of lower highs and lower lows. In this case, we can see that there are lower highs being formed consistently along with lower lows. This is a lower low, this is a lower low, and this is a lower low. And we also have three lower highs in this case. Whereas an uptrend is actually characterized by the formation of higher highs and higher lows. We can see over here the price is constantly making higher highs, higher lows, and at the same time is also making higher highs. Now the line connecting the highs in case of a downtrend acts as a resistance. So this is what is known as a trend line in case of a downtrend. It acts as a resistance to the price. You can see that whenever the price comes back to that line, it is bounced back in the opposite direction. So because it acts like a strong resistance. Whereas in case of an uptrend, the trend line that is made connecting the higher lows of the price acts as a cushion for the price. Whenever the price returns to this particular trend line, it is bounced back in the opposite direction. Also, the price really respects these trend lines when it is trending either up or down. But as soon as there is a breakout, like for example, you can see that there is a breakout of the resistance over here, and the price completely changed its stance. The market sentiment changed and turned into bullish. And from there on, the market has been uptrending. The resistance line can be extended in the future to find future resistance. So as you can see, the line can be extended in case we ignore the part on the right hand side. The line could have been extended downwards if this never happened, and it would still act as a resistance. This is what gives trend lines certain leading indicator properties, as they can tell us where buying or selling pressure is going to come in the future. For example, if this graph was a little extended, we would have future support points somewhere around here. And if the price were to come back here, we would know that this would be a probable point where we could expect buying pressure. So it can also help us in really timing our trades. So let's discuss about some common ways to spot trends. The first one is using trend lines, right? So a trend line must touch at least 3 points to be considered a valid trend line. And in fact, the more points that are touched by a trend line, the more stronger it becomes. The more times the price bounces back into the opposite direction from the line, the more stronger and more valid a trend line it becomes. So we should always try to connect the maximum number of points while creating a trend line. The uptrend line is always drawn by connecting higher lows. So whenever drawing a trend line, in case of a downtrend, you must connect the the lower highs and not the lower lows. You must only create a downtrend line by connecting the lower highs. And in case of an uptrend, you must always draw the trend support line by connecting the higher lows and not the higher highs. The steeper the trend line is, the more difficult it gets to sustain it. A very strong and steep trend needs a very strong supply or demand, which is not sustainable for a very long period of time. Instead, if the price is making higher highs and higher lows in a stable and slow fashion, it can be considered to be an uptrend for a longer period of time. The second way of spotting trends is using moving averages. The different strategies that we can use to spot trends with moving averages are already mentioned in the slide. Method one would be to use one moving average, right? This could be a 50 period moving average or a 100 period moving average or a 200 period moving average. But the fact that the price is above this particular moving average gives it sort of a bullish outlook, right? The price is considered to be an uptrend if it is above the 50 or 200 period moving average. And similarly, if the price is below the 50, 100 or 200 period moving average, it is considered to be in a downtrend by majority of the traders and by the theory that goes along with it. You can use two moving averages. In a two moving average system, you would identify trends based on which moving average is higher. Say, if we are using two moving averages, one of them has to be a fast moving average and the other one has to be a slow moving average. So let's assume that the red line here is a 9 period moving average, whereas the blue line here is a 21 period moving average. So now that the red line is above the blue line, we can say that the price is in an uptrend. The 9 period even crossing above the 21 period moving average is a bullish signal, right? Similarly, when the 9 period moving average crosses below the 20 period moving average, that is the fast crossing below the slow moving average, it is considered to be a bearish signal. And just the fact that the 9 period moving average is lower than the 21 period moving average puts the price in a downtrend. We can also identify trends using the slope of the moving average. A consistently increasing moving average indicates a strong uptrend, whereas a consistently decreasing moving average indicates a strong downtrend. Now, I will show you all how you all can identify continuously increasing moving averages and continuously decreasing moving averages using Streak platform. In order to go to Streak platform, simply go to www.streak.tech, and all you have to do is log in with your Zerodha credentials, which is Kite, and you will reach this dashboard page right here. So here we have the scanner section where we will be creating a scanner in order to identify consistently increasing moving averages. So to do that, I'm going to make use of the period min function, period min 10, SMA, 20 period SMA, minus period min 10, SMA 20 with an offset of -1. So what this condition here does is that it checks for the difference between the moving averages of consecutive moving averages of the moving average of each period. So what we have to ensure is that the difference is constantly positive, that it is not negative, because if it was negative, then that would mean that the moving average has decreased. So if we make sure that this equation is higher than the number 0, just to make sure that it is positive. So let's give this scan a name, increasing MA, and we will scan on Nifty 500 on the hourly time frame using candlesticks. So let's go ahead and scan and save. So these are all the results that the scanner has fetched for us. Let's pick any stock at random. For example, Oro Pharma. I'll be plotting Oro Pharma over here. Let's match the time frame since we kept the hourly time frame over there. Okay, we need to now plot the 20 period moving average. Okay, there you go. There you can see that the moving average has been consistently in an increasing pattern. It has not bent down or gone down even once. You can't see a decrease or change in the slope of the moving average, right? Let's look at another example. Let's see Bajaj Auto. There we go. Here again, you can see that the moving average has been consistently increasing and the price looks like it is in an uptrend. It is in a strong uptrend, consistently making higher highs and higher lows. So this is how we can spot trends using moving averages. Scanning for stocks forming higher lows. We discussed before that uptrending stocks are actually characterized by the formation of higher lows. So now how is it that we identify these higher lows that are being formed so that we can eventually take up opportunities in uptrending stocks? This is the scanner that we are going to use for that exact same purpose. So let's head right into Streak and learn how to create this scanner. We also have our Discover section right here, in which we have over 100 plus pre-designed and pre-made scanners available for you for educational and inspirational purposes. We have scanners for various outlooks, and to suit us best in this case, we can use the intraday bullish trending stocks or the intraday bearish trending stocks from the intraday section. Then we have also bullish and bearish scanners for swing and positional traders, which also can be utilized. All you have to do is you just have to click on the scanner over here, add a name, and scan and save. There is nothing required to be done. That's all you have to do, right? So let's go ahead and now create our scanner. So we are going to be scanning on the entirety of Nifty 500 stocks. Time frame we will select an hour, chart type candlestick. So as and when I will write the conditions, I will also be explaining the meaning of them to you, the logic behind finding how the higher lows are being formed, right? So we'll start off by period min 10, low -1, higher than p period min, low -11. Okay, so now you must be wondering what these negative numbers means. Why have I input -1 and -11 over here? So what we're trying to do here is we are comparing the lowest low that was formed in the last 10 periods to the lowest low that was formed in the 10 periods prior to the last 10 periods. Hence the offset of -11. So basically, this particular function is going to search for the lowest low that was formed in the 10 periods prior to the latest 11 candles, right? I hope you all understood that because the next few conditions are based on the exact same logic. Period min, low, -11, higher than period min, low, -21, right? The last condition now is period min 10, low, -21 is now higher than the low that was formed in the 10 candles before that. -31. So here we've input three lines of conditions that are going to make sure that the lows formed in a bunch of 10 consecutive candles are higher than the previous low, right? So here we have higher low scanner. We will just scan and save. Okay, so these are all the results that the scanner has fetched for us. Let's verify the result at random. Let's go for 3M India. Let us match the time frame over here. Okay. So here we can see that the scanner has beautifully identified this opportunity for us. You can see that the price has constantly made higher lows and is in a strong uptrend. You can see how steep this line is. Wait, I'm just going to draw a line and then show you all. Yes. There you go. You can see how steep this trend line is, signifying that it's a strong trend and there's a lot of conviction behind this move. So let's look at another example just to verify the authenticity of the scanning results. Let's look at Dr. Reddy. There we go. Okay, so even in this case, the price has been constantly forming lower lows and there has been a constant uptrend in the price. You see, again, we can make quite a steep trend line over here. The scanner has again identified for us another bullish opportunity. Scanning for trending stocks with EMA and ADX. So now this is another scanner which is used to identify trending stocks, but this time we are going to be using a slightly different approach. We are going to be using moving averages and the ADX indicator. So let's go back to Streak and try to create the scanner. We will keep the time frame as 15 minutes. Okay, so let's have a look at the conditions once again. We are using three conditions of moving averages, and the last condition would be the ADX indicator. So the first condition is that the close has to be higher than its 21 period exponential moving average. And the exponential moving average 21 period should be higher than, oops, um, let's delete this and rewrite EMA. Yes, should be higher than its 50 period moving average. And the 50 period moving average must be higher than the 200 period moving average. So here we're looking for strong uptrending stocks. Usually when lower period moving averages are higher than their longer counterparts, that is when it is the stock or the price is considered to be in an uptrend. And the larger the difference between the two moving averages, the more the conviction behind such a move. EMA 200, there we go. And now our last condition is that the ADX indicator, that is the average directional indicator, should be higher than number 24. So basically the basic premise of the ADX indicator is that if its value is above 20 to 25, then the price is considered to be trending. It is considered to be in an uptrend or a downtrend. So the ADX is actually neutral. It does not differentiate between uptrend and downtrend. It only tells you whether the price is trending or not. So let's give this another name. But in this case, we have put the EMA conditions to look for an uptrend. Therefore, we will be naming this scanner as an uptrending scanner. And let's scan and save. Okay, so these are all the results. Let's check Ashok Leland on the 15-minute time frame. Okay, there we go. We can see a major bullish move seen over here. The price has rallied up till here and has taken a support. This here is the 200 period moving average, and I'm sure if I plot all the moving averages, they are going to be higher than the other. At the same time, we will look at the ADX indicator. Do ignore the green and red lines as they are directional momentum lines, and we are not concerned with them right now. We are concerned with this black line right here, whose value stands at 34, which means that the stock is trending or has high trending potential, right? Let's look at another example now. Let's look at another example from the results. Asian Paints. Okay, there we go again. We see a bull run along with the ADX value at a 24.20, which satisfies conditions. And there we go. That's how we identify such opportunities using the scanner. Okay, so let's go ahead and understand how we can create and develop trend following strategies, how we can deploy them in the live market so that we can make the most of these large moves that occur in trending stocks. So let's head back and try to create this strategy. Okay, so this is going to be a buy strategy because we are finding uptrending stocks. We want to capture uptrend moves. Therefore, the first condition is going to be that the close price crosses above the pivot point R1, which is also resistance 1 type Fibonacci. And the second condition being that the close must be higher than the previous day's high, for which we will use the previous N candle and field as high. There we go. And the close price is also higher than the super trend indicator. I like to use the settings 10 and 4. So you see we have put all three entry conditions as bullish indications. All of these are bullish indications. When the close crosses above a resistance level, it is said to have changed the market sentiment, and now that resistance level acts as a support level. And if the close is higher than the previous day's high, it does indicate that there is a good amount of buying pressure or a good amount of buying potential in the market, right? And if the close is higher than the super trend indicator, that means that the stock is already considered to be in an uptrend, and there is potential for the stock to go higher up. Our exit condition is going to be the close price crossing below the super trend indicator. Again, these settings are just personally, I am comfortable with these settings due to experience, and over the years, I've found that these settings work for me, but you guys can use any settings that you all please. I'm going to put a modest risk to reward ratio of 1 is to 2.5. There we go. Let's enter the quantity as 100. And I have a basket of auto and FMCG stocks that I would like to use for this strategy. Let's give the strategy a name, bullish trend following demo. Okay, so let's save and backtest. Okay, so this, guys, is the backtest page, and this is our backtest profit and loss metrics. These are the returns that the strategy has fetched for us in the backtest period. These are the returns that you would have made if you deployed the strategy during the backtest period. This chart here shows you the win to loss ratio of the strategy, right? We have the number of signals, the wins, losses, winning streak, and losing streak. The winning streak and losing streak is the number of times back to back that your strategy has won or lost. We also have individual profit and loss charts for every stock. For every stock that a strategy has been back tested on, there are very transparent transaction details right here. Every trade executed by the strategy in the backtest period is available here for you and for your cross reference. If you want, you can also adjust the profit and loss metrics for brokerage to get an even deeper insight in the profitability of your strategy. So let's say that I am satisfied with a few stocks in here and I want to deploy them in the live market. So I will simply select the stocks, naturally the ones with the highest returns, and I will click on deploy. So this pop-up window right here gives you the option to change quantities stockwise. You do not necessarily have to trade the same quantity in each stock. You can tailor them as per your preferences. You can keep the strategy live for a maximum of a week, right? And the strategy cycle is the number of trades that you want to take. If you want to take 4 trades, then you should take the strategy cycle you should set as 4. You can select the order type to be MIS or CNC as per your choice. And also, we also have bracket orders available. In case you are not that confident in your strategy and you want to see how it would perform in the live market, for that very purpose, we have a function of paper trading available right here. Paper trading deploys your strategy at on live market data, but virtual capital is used, not your real capital, right? It is basically an experience similar to deploying a strategy in the live market, but without any of your capital actually becoming hurt. So in this case, I'll be taking the strategies live, and this is where we will see them under the live strategies section in the waiting section. All these strategies are now waiting for their triggers. So I'm sure that everybody remembers how we created a scanner to identify those stocks that are uptrending, right? What if we could create a scanner that identifies those stocks that are downtrending using this exact same scanner? But the only modification that we have to make is the comparators in the middle. We have to change them to their opposite version. So higher than becomes lower than. I'll be going in quickly changing this on all 3 conditions. The last condition will remain itself because, as I discussed before, the ADX indicator does not differentiate between uptrend and downtrend. Rather, it only tells us whether the stock is trending or not. So let's go ahead and scan and save this. So these are the results. These are the stocks in on the hourly time frame on Nifty 100 index that are bearish. So what we are going to do is we are going to use these stocks to create a bearish trend following strategy, which is something like this. This is the strategy that we will be creating. We already created a bullish strategy. Now we will be creating a bearish strategy. So let's go ahead. We simply have to just select all of these stocks and create a strategy. So as you saw, automatically all of those stocks got transferred to the create strategies page. Let's change this to a sell position. We can put the quantity as 100. In the entry conditions, we have to put such conditions that will identify the start or the beginning of a bearish trend. So we will input something like this. Close is lower than its 21 period exponential moving average, which would give the price sort of a bearish outlook. The second condition is that the PROC indicator must cross below the number 0, right? So the PROC indicator measures the rate of change of price, and depending on the period that you have chosen, whenever the PROC indicator crosses below 0, it is considered to be a signal of the start of a bearish trend. In our exit condition, we will be putting such a condition that can identify the end of a bearish trend. So crosses above its 9 period exponential moving average. The stop loss and target profit are going to be 1 and 2 because we like to maintain a healthy or a minimum 1 to 2%, 1 is to 2 risk to reward ratio. Okay. So let's go ahead, give the strategy a name. It's a bearish trend following strategy. We will save and backtest this. Okay, 1, 2, 3. There we go. Save and backtest. So while the backtest results are loading, I would like to show you all some other things. In case after the backtest you want to change any of the parameters you please, be it your stop loss, your target profit, the quantity, the backtest start or stop date, or even if you want to change the candle interval on which you backtested, you can do that all from here. You simply just have to click this button here, right? You can save and run the backtest again. Okay. So here you can also download backtest trade details on an Excel sheet. That facility is also available for you all over here. And in case you want to change your strategy conditions after running the backtest, you want to optimize your strategy a little bit, then you can always do so. You can come back here, you can change or add a few conditions, you can remove a few conditions, and you can run the backtest results again. Okay. So now it is time to conclude the webinar. We have reached the conclusion, and we are going to be talking about some key takeaway points that you all should remember from today's webinar in order to understand how to completely take advantage of uptrending and downtrending stocks. So the first one being trend is the general direction of a stock. If a stock is moving upwards for too long, then it is considered to be an uptrend. And if it is moving downwards or in a downwards direction for too long, then it is considered to be a downtrend. Trends are often visible in many of the trade instruments, be it currency, be it equities, or be it commodities. You can see visible trends in almost every traded instrument. Various indicators can be used to identify the direction and magnitude of trends. We saw a few examples of the same today. We saw that we can use indicators like the ADX, which is the average directional index, the super trend indicator, and how we can use moving averages, various combinations of moving averages to identify the direction and magnitude of these trends, right? Then we created a few scanners that can be used to quickly identify trending stocks so that we can jump in at every opportunity that the market presents to us. Trend following strategies can be created to capture and ride the trends. And the strategies actually also help us in capturing these big moves that uptrending and downtrending stocks usually display. Entry conditions should focus on identifying new trends, and exit conditions should focus on identifying the end of trends. So, like we did in the previous strategy example, we input entry conditions that were supposed to identify the beginning of a bearish trend, whereas we input exit conditions that identify the end of a bearish trend in case of a trend following strategy that is bearish. So, that is how you are supposed to enter your entry and exit conditions. Trend following strategies capture large moves which cover the small losses from other trades. So, the other trades that we are referring to here are usually trades that are taken in a ranging market where the price does not move much, but rather it stays between two prominent price levels, which are the major support and resistance levels. But in a trending stock, the stock could rally for a lot of time. It could really make some big moves. Therefore, trend following strategies capture the large moves and they can help us cover these small losses from other trades. Thank you all of y'all for staying tuned right till the end of this webinar. If you are looking for some more educational content regarding Streak, please do subscribe to our YouTube channel where we post regular videos, and these videos are available in both Hindi and English. You can also follow us on our Twitter handle, which is @StreakTech for updates on new features, new releases, and announcements. And if you're new to Streak, then you can simply click on the request free demo tab on our website, and you can request us for a free demo. Our experts will get in contact with you, and we will arrange a demo session for you, and we will definitely send you an invite. If you have any suggestions regarding this webinar or regarding Streak platform itself, please feel free to write to us at support@streak.tech, where me and my team will be more than happy to assist you. Thank you all.